Welcome to this Emulating Puskas extra video where I'm going to be going into a lot of detail compared with the regular Emulating Puskas episodes. Those of you that watched my Emulating Messi extra series know that these videos are a lot longer. I look at every single player in detail. We look at their history, the clubs they've played for, the awards they've won, look at their attributes, etc. and we see how they're getting on. Now I decided to just do one video this series for this because they take a hell of a lot of time to record. Like regularly they were an hour and a half long last series. I don't know how long it will be this time around because we've got 88 players, a bit less than the Emulating Messi series. Fortunately, that's one of the reasons why I decided to put less players in. It just means we can focus on the players in a bit more detail in the normal episodes as well. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from the top to the bottom, in terms of current ability wise. I have holidayed one more year since episode 9, by the way, so we're now 30 years old. Before I get started, please, if you could smash the like button, that would be much appreciated. After this video, we'll carry on with the rest of the series. There'll be episode 10, which will be when the player's age 33, and then episode 11 will be the last episode where we holiday until all the players have retired from the game. Let's start with Kenneth Kennison then, who has been a real star in this series, the New Zealand Man United striker and attacking midfielder who's had 200 current ability for a very, very long time now, and you can see 137 goals in 113 games for New Zealand. Has he retired from international duty? I don't think so, but maybe he has. He hasn't really played that many more games since last time, I don't think. I might be wrong. Maybe he's played a handful. I suppose it's only been 1 year since the last video, actually. He's a Man United legend. You can see he's only played for Man United in his career. We do tend to get quite a few players playing for one club, especially the really top quality players that start at a big club. They're unlikely to move because just think how much money this guy would cost to sign. You can see here, these are the awards that he's won. Competitions wise, he's just won so many different things with Manchester United. They've been lethal on this save, really, really lethal. Information wise, you can see Man United play him up front as a striker, gets insane average ratings for club and country. Although his best role, arguably, well, it is as an attacking midfielder, as you can see there, but his attributes lend. Oh, he can play anywhere, can't he? He's just insane. What a player he is, looking at him. Dribbling 20, finishing 19, first touch 20, technique 20, composure 20, anticipation 20, agility 20. I mean, he's just an insane player. Oh, it's just got muddled up here. That's a bit annoying. Anyway, we'll skip Kennethson when we get to him again. Sean Watson's now at the top of the list as I've gone back to the short list, which is a bit irritating. Hopefully it stays in the correct order now as we go through the players. Now, he is a Scotland legend, 125 caps, only 11 goals for his country, but he's a central midfielder, remember. He's been at Arsenal for many, many years, but moved from Southampton at the end of the 4th season for 32.5 million. He's just been so good. He's not really an assist machine either. He gets quite a few assists, but not huge numbers, as you can see there. 11 assists in all competitions this year. 7 goals, but his average rating is very, very good, and he's obviously an incredible player. He's just a standard central midfielder, but one of the best central midfielders, if not the best central midfielder in the world. He's won plenty of things with Arsenal, as you can see. Not as many as Man United, but they've won a fair number of competitions. They have managed to win the Champions League. They've also managed to win. He's also won the league with Arsenal as well, so he's done pretty well for them. As I said, he's a central midfielder. He's idol is Paul Scholes. Gordon Strachan is his manager. I think I've mixed. Yeah, this is the player where I modelled up. I changed it on the database that you guys will be downloading, but on the original database I put him down as he supports Man United and Man City, which obviously doesn't make sense. I think Man City was meant to be a club he really didn't like, and Southampton is also one of his favourite clubs now because he played for Southampton at the start of the save. So I muddled that up a bit, I'm afraid. It hasn't really affected him, as you can see. He's actually ended up playing for Arsenal of all teams, and it doesn't really matter. Oh, it's all muddled up again. This is really irritating. I hope this doesn't muddle up now. Let's go back. Okay, it's not muddling up now. We've done Sean Watson and Kenneth Kennison. This is a great start, isn't it? It's just going wrong already. Boris Johnson then has been just an insane player. This Swedish Real Madrid legend. earning 325k a week at Real Madrid, 83 goals in 128 games for Sweden. Started at Stoke City, but moved to Dortmund for 59 million at the end of the 4th season after a good time in his early days in the Premier League. Then he moved to Real Madrid in La Liga, so he's played in arguably the 3 biggest leagues currently in the world. £67 million he moved for, so Dortmund did make a bit of profit. Maybe they would have liked to make a bit more, because he is definitely worth more than that now, although he's 30 years old, so he's, I guess, coming to the end of that period where he's worth money. But he's a true goal scorer, as you can see there. And he's won plenty of things with Real Madrid. They've won the league a few times. They've won the Champions League 2 seasons in a row. Oh no, sorry, runners-up 2 seasons in a row in the Champions League. I don't think he's won the... Oh, he did win the Champions League. 2021. It's a while ago now since they won that. Also got the Golden Boot in the Champions League this year, as you can see there. And he's quite versatile. He tends to play up front though for Real Madrid, as you can see there, but he can play right midfield, which he is occasionally playing for Real Madrid there. Okay, I don't think it's muddling up now, so we know where we're at. Harry Dagubati is next then, our Welsh, another Real Madrid player, 88 goals in 137 games for Wales. He's just a legend, a real legend of the game. Started at Ajax, but then moved to AC Milan for £23 million. Played 4 seasons for Milan when his contract ran out, and he moved to Real Madrid on a free, where he's been a real legend for them. Won plenty of things, been runners-up in plenty of things, as you can see there. He's a superstar, and he's versatile. Once again, another versatile player, can play attacking midfield or up front. He tends to play behind the main man, Boris Johnson, as you can see there, as an attacking midfielder, I would guess, although he's suited to other positions as well. Moving on, so we've done Kenneth Kennison. Daniel Carter II, who managed to win the World Cup with South Korea in the last episode, and he managed to win the Golden Ball and World Player of the Year, I do believe. He is a legend of South Korea. 152 goals in 170 caps for South Korea. I'm just talking these simple attributes here. Before it finally loads, the game is lagging because I've got loads of things loaded, and we've holidayed far into the future. Anyway, he's been at Juventus his whole career, apart from going out on loan to Feyenoord in that 2nd season with the club. This season, 8.31 average rating in the league, 29 league goals, 32 in all competitions. What a star this guy is. He's unbelievable. What a player. He's won everything with Juventus apart from... No, they did win the Champions... No, runners-up in the Champions League, sorry. I have to read that. If runners-up was a different colour, then it would be a bit easier. Oh, runners-up twice in the Champions League. They've been unlucky, Juventus, not to win it. He's an out-and-out striker, although he can play attacking midfield now. He's obviously been trained up a bit by Juventus, but he plays all his games up front for Juventus. Legendary striker, model professional, superstar this guy is. Floyd Leonard is next then. He's from Haiti, 115 caps in 133 goals for Haiti, and he plays for Bayern Munich. Another player of 200 current ability. What a star this guy is. Haiti, is it Haiti or Haiti? I don't know. My teachers at school used to say Haiti. We studied them, but I've heard recently it's Haiti. Anyway, they're 70th in the world rankings. They're one of these nations that do actually play quite a few games. We've seen the people that play for Fiji, our players that play for Fiji, not get many caps because they don't play many games, but Haiti do actually play quite a few games. They must do. He's got 133 caps. He started at Zenit St. Petersburg, but moved to Bayern Munich for £41 million, which seems like loose change now because he's just turned into this stupidly good player that scores quite a few goals every year. He's not an out-and-out striker. He can play up front. He's won plenty of things with Bayern Munich. I don't know if they've won the Champions League. He won the Club World Championship with Bayern. Oh yes, there we go. Champions League in 2018. So that makes sense. And plenty of things with Haiti as well. Look, Caribbean Championship they managed to win in 2020. So he plays right wing predominantly for Bayern Munich, but he does also play on the left wing or up front. So he's a versatile character, as you can see. He actually prefers to play inside forward on the left, but he's playing right wing. You'd have thought with a player like Floyd Leonard, you'd say to him, well, you pick your position, you're the best player, you play wherever you want. But either way, he's playing on the right wing and seems to be enjoying his time in Bayern Munich nonetheless. Josh Downard is next, a guy that's been at Barcelona from the start. He's got 79 goals in 26 caps for Italy, as you can see there. Did pretty well at youth level as well, but yeah, like I said, been at Barcelona since the start. Started at Barcelona B, but he was soon promoted to the first team. And however, he was then demoted to the B team the second season. But he's gone from strength to strength, and he seems to have increased his goal tally every year. This year, 2024-25 in particular, 41 goals in all competitions. Only 26 this season, but he might not be playing as far up the pitch as he was before. He's won quite a few things. He runners-up with Italy in the European Championships last year. Have Barcelona won the Champions League? Runners-up 2021. Runners-up in 2018. And runners-up in 2007. They haven't won the Champions League. He won the Club World Championship in his first season, because in real life they won it the year before, of course. But, interesting that he's not. Barcelona haven't won the Champions League on this. They've won La Liga quite a few times. So he plays either up front or on the left wing as an inside forward. So he's versatile, and maybe that's why he's not got as many goals this season, because he is playing left wing as well. For Italy, though, he mainly plays up front, you can see there. Lots of favoured personnel and favoured clubs. These are sort of things I put in at the start for those of you that donated through Patreon. Once again, thank you for all the support on Patreon. You're welcome to continue pledging, of course, if you so wish. You can, of course, delete your pledge as well. I will be giving away a copy of FM17 very soon to one of my pledges, so that'll be in the next couple of weeks or so. So anyone that's still pledged to Patreon will be put into my prize draw, and I'll give you a free copy of FM17. And there will, of course, be another emulating series at some point. Probably, I'll just announce this now, probably not until December, because, of course, FM17 comes out at the start of November. I'm going to focus on Let's Play series to start with, and then I'll get round to do an emulating series. But I'll probably announce it in November time, and that's when you guys can sign up. I think that's what I'll do this time. I'll just open the boards to everyone this time round, and then maybe the series after that we'll just open it to the people that have watched the series, like I did for this one, if you know what I mean. Because I had no idea I might have completely different ideas for the emulating series next time, so I don't want to lock myself in at this stage. Anyway, that's enough blabbering. You've seen Christian Gropey here. Sensational PSG player, plays for Trinidad and Tobago. Started at Burton, remember, before moving on a free to PSG. I don't know how they got forced Burton into giving him away. That just seems really unfair, to be honest. Unless he hadn't signed a pro contract, but I'm sure he would have, because he was 17 at the start. Yeah, I feel sorry for Burton there. They got no money for this guy that turned out to be 200 current ability. Went through their ranks. We're making this up, obviously. A backstory to Christian Gopey. Went through their ranks, worked hard. Burton worked hard on him, spent money on him to get into the standard he was, and then PSG come in and nick him for free. Don't really understand why that is the case. Brilliant central midfielder. Okay, we're now on to the players with 100 we've already moved on to the players with 199 current ability, because Gopey was the first one. Hugh Jass is the second 199 current ability player. Another Scot with 129 caps and 114 goals. This guy is a goal scorer through and through. Can also play an attacking midfield, as you can see there. Started at Rangers. Watford got an absolute bargain signing him for 4.1 million in the second season. Then Chelsea, 45.5 million. Watford made a lot of profit there. He is a goal scorer and a half. This season, I think, may have been his best run. 43 goals in all competitions. Superstar. He's won everything with Chelsea, as you can see. They won the Champions League this year and last year. So they're the ones that won it 2 years in a row, beating Real Madrid in the final both times. That is impressive. Well done to Chelsea. They have been very good on this save, along with Manchester United as well. Seems to favour playing as a deep line forward. Whether Chelsea play him in that position, I don't know. But he's scoring plenty of goals, whatever they're doing. What a player. I've gone to the wrong one here. Okay, next up is Alex Calabrese, our German, with 133 caps and 19 goals for his country. He also plays for Chelsea, and he's been there since the start. Was at Leipzig on loan for the first 2 years, where he didn't really get the best average rating. Got a few assists. He wasn't about goals at all in his early days, but then 2019-20 season, he suddenly scored 14 goals, and every now and then every season in fact, he's scored over 20 goals, almost 20. Over 10 goals, almost 20. That is really impressive, considering I thought he was a right back. He generally is a right back, but he's getting more goals than assists, getting really good average ratings. We'll see where he's playing, because whatever he's doing is very impressive. As you can see, he's won the International League, actually, because we haven't looked at that yet, out of curiosity. England, Holland, Spain, France, England and Italy are the winners of that competition. Let's look. Where is he playing? He's playing right wing. Well, that makes a lot more sense now as to how he's doing so well. Originally I thought he was a right back, but he's definitely playing right wing more. He does play a few games every season at right back, as you can see there, but he's scoring goals from that right wing position. Great player. Jace Cannon is next, our French wonder. Well, he was a wonder kid. He's obviously a world-class goalkeeper now, legendary goalkeeper in fact. Where he started at Troyes in France, but then moved on a free at the end of his contract to PSG. Once again, getting a real bargain there, and he's been their main player in goal ever since. He's just an unbelievably good goalkeeper, probably the best goalkeeper in the world. I've forgotten to look at the biographies. I do apologise. I really should be looking at the biographies rather than just competition. In fact, this is your chance to pause the video. I'm basically going to look at everyone's biography quickly. Let's go through. And look, there's Calabrese's biography. And Huge Ass. Let's look at his biography. Achievements. Remember to pause the video if you want to. I'm sorry, I really wasn't thinking. I completely forgot about biography for some reason. I don't know why. But if you want to pause the video and read a biography, you can do. If you have been downloading the files as we go along, of course you can actually look at the biographies as we go along anyway. Floyd Leonard, Daniel Carter II. There he is. Kenneth Kennison, the legend. Kenneth the Menace. That probably wasn't quick enough, sorry. You'd have had to pause that very quickly there. Dagu Barty. We're almost at the top. There he is, the Welsh legend. And lastly, Boris Johnson. There's his biography. That's quite a long one. Okay, where were we? Jace Cannon. Brilliant goalkeeper. We looked at his biography, didn't we? I don't know. There we go again. Competitions wise, he's won a lot of PSG, of course. I think they won the Champions League, didn't they? Yeah, they did in 2024. Okay, moving on down to Ben Kearney, who was incredible in the last series. Possibly the best player, probably in the top 3 best players. Has been very good in this series as well. Maybe not quite as good as last series, but still, what a player this guy is, who can play anywhere, remember. A player that's trained up to do anything he wants. Be interesting to see where he plays. Let's have a look. He mainly plays right back, but as you can see there, he just fills in where required, I'm guessing. When there's an injury, he just moves into that position. But he does mainly play right back. Let's look at his career. Started at Watford, and then moved to Chelsea for £16.25 million. I know Ben Kearney in real life supports Arsenal, he told me, on the last series, so playing for Chelsea probably isn't happy viewing, but there we go. He's managed to win plenty of things with Chelsea, and of course they've won the Champions League the last 2 years. What a player. What a player this guy is once again. Okay, moving on down to Christian Blanco, our Honduran, with 117 goals in 130 games. What a superstar he has been for Honduras, who are 72nd in the world. I think he's retired. Yeah, retired from international duty last year. He's wanted by a club as well. He's at Arsenal at the moment, but he's wanted by PSG, and when PSG want you, they really want you, and they can get you for free by the looks of it on this series. He started at Braga, moved to Valencia for £39 million in the 3rd season. Had a pretty good time in Spain. with Valencia. Started, last season he didn't play as many games, but that's because he moved to Arsenal halfway through by the looks of it for £45.5 million, and he's had a good time with Arsenal. 29 goals, 31 goals and 34 goals in all competitions, getting better and better every year. Arsenal haven't been as successful, have they? We did see before they have been runners-up in the Champions League. They've won the FA Cup a couple times, but they've certainly not been as successful as last series, where they had a lot of players, including Ben Kearney, remember, as captain, and dominated England and Europe as well. But it's been Man United and Chelsea this time round. I don't think Man City have done as much either. He's an out-and-out poacher, isn't he, this guy, Christian Blanco? Great striker. Moving down then to West, who has been on the most money for years and years. He is a very, 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 very rich man. 48 goals in 121 games with Spain as well. That is impressive. I think he started off Brazilian, but moved to his second nationality in the end. He's been at PSG since the very start. He's been a pretty prolific goal scorer across all competitions, generally over 20 goals. Maybe not. Most seasons, at least 15 goals, if not 20 goals every season. Average rating wise, very impressive. I think the thing is, he can play anywhere, as you can see there from his positions. So he's quite versatile in that sense. Can play central midfield. Actually mainly plays either up front or in central midfield. Very few games in the positions in between, which is interesting. William Williamson is next then, our Welsh Spurs player. 18 goals in 110 games for this midfielder. Exceptional talent, been at Spurs from the start, did go on loan to Southampton, but he is essentially a one-club man. He's won the Euro Cup and the Champions League with Spurs. Remember, they won the Champions League in 2020. That was a massive achievement for them after winning the league the previous year. So Spurs have actually been more successful than Arsenal on this save, which doesn't make for good viewing for you Arsenal fans, but that's the fact. Spurs have been better on this save. Thomas Ryan then is next, another Spurs player, but this one is from Ireland. He's also got, has he got 11 goals in? Is that the same as William Williamson? Oh no, 18 goals. Same number of caps though, 110. He's also another very good midfielder. Started at Leicester City but moved to Spurs for £32 million halfway through his career, and he's got good average ratings. Very good player, as you can see there. There's his biography. Wasn't around when they won the Champions League, unfortunately. Was runners-up in the FA Cup with Leicester, but has only managed to win the Euro Cup and the Capital One Cup in his time at Spurs. Central midfield, that's where he likes to play. Advanced playmaker by the looks of it. David O'Leary is a favoured personnel. Random. Toaster Strudel is next, who is American. 126 caps. I love his name, Toaster Strudel, great name. Plays for Chelsea as well as a legendary midfielder. Started at AC Milan, went on loan to Leverkusen, but spent most of his career at AC Milan before finally deciding to move it to England and started playing for Chelsea a couple years ago. Very good average ratings every season for this defensive midfielder. He's won plenty of things. Of course, he's won the Champions League this year and last year with Chelsea, so he moved to Chelsea at the right time. I don't know if he is the key man behind their success the last 2 years. Signing a defensive midfielder. Oh, centre-back. He's played centre-back mainly for Chelsea and he's done really well at it. Interesting. Maybe that has been their success. Maybe he's a ball-playing centre-back. I'm just trying to spit my words out. Looking at his attributes, you can see that he does suit being a centre-back. Marking and tackling of 20, positioning 19. Chelsea have decided we're going to take advantage of these attributes and stick him at centre-back. Concentration as well. Passing. Can come out defence and play a pass. He's a really good centre-back. Interesting, really interesting. Morgan Kendall is next. A guy that plays for Man City and for Wales. 134 caps for Wales. Started at Cardiff City, signed for Liverpool for £46.5 million, who made a slight profit on him, selling him to Man City for £49 million. And he's been a really good midfielder for them. He can play anywhere across the middle. They've won a few things, Man City, as you can see here. But it's actually a lot of runners-up. They're runners-up in the Champions League, were they? No. Wait, where is it? No, they won the Euro Cup. Runners-up in the Euro Cup. So they've won the Euro Cup twice. They've won the Premier League a couple of years ago and in 2024 as well. So they have won a few things. They've been better than Arsenal, but at the top level of Europe, they haven't managed to win the Champions League, but they are being pretty successful in the Euro Cup, you can see there. Morgan Kendall tends to play central midfield, has played a few games on the right wing as well, but he really is just a good central midfielder, isn't he? Okay, moving on, ladies and gentlemen, we're moving on to Alex Burford, our player that plays for, which flag is this? I always forget it. It's Sao Tumian and Principe, something like that. 116th in the world. He's played 86 times for his country, 5 goals. He's another player that plays for Real Madrid. Now, this is interesting. Just because you pick a small island nation or a tiny nation that has no international football history, it doesn't mean you're preventing yourself from becoming a great player. Because Alex Burford is playing for Real Madrid, doing really, really well. And there's plenty of examples of players in this series that have done well despite playing for an obscure nation. He's been fantastic for Real Madrid, as you can see. He's won plenty of things with them. There's his biography. I won't forget to do that this time. And he's predominantly a left back that can also play left wing back and left wing. Favourite personnel, Zinedine Zidane, his ex-manager, I presume. Who's he in charge of now? AC Milan. Interesting. Great player, Alex Burford, so well done to him. Moving on down to Lee Gamble. Well, our original Fijian, he has been joined by another Fijian, of course, in this series. He's got 57 caps for Fiji. I don't think he's added to that since the last episode. 21 goals. He's a versatile character, can play central midfield, attacking midfield, left midfield, etc. He started at Hearts before moving to Fiorentina for 6.25 million and then moved on to Schalke for 30 million pounds, where he's having a phenomenal career, especially assists wise. 25 assists in all competitions this year. Really good stuff from him. There's his biography. Competitions wise, they haven't won as much as other clubs, I guess, but when you've got Bayern Munich to face, it's always going to be difficult. They've been runners-up so many times in various things. They were actually runners-up in the Champions League in 2025, but they finally won the league in 2026, and they also won the Cup. They then were runners-up in the Champions League once again, which is really unlucky. So at least they managed to win one league title, but maybe he'll want to move elsewhere if he wants to win a few things before he retires. Having a good career with Schalke though, and perhaps he's just happy to be a Schalke legend. Moving down to Anthony Rosmus, our Barcelona defender, who has been really, really good this series, getting into World Team of the Year numerous times. Sensational player, started at Nuremberg, moved to Barcelona, and has been brilliant for them in the defence. I assume he's been playing in the defence. Let's just have a look. Oh, it's a mixture between central midfield and centre-back. He does prefer to play ball-playing defender, but I guess his attributes, because he's very good at passing, for example, do lends itself to playing as a central midfielder as well. So, really, really good player. Really good, solid. More than solid. He's exceptional, isn't he? I'd love to have him in my team. Going down to Jan Analkovic. We're now up to the 185 current ability marker. This guy is from Slovenia, sorry. I meant to say Slovakia, then I realised no, it's Slovenia. Then for some reason I said Serbia. But there we go. 78 caps for Slovenia, 19 goals. He's been at Arsenal a while now, I think. Let's go away. Let's go. Here we go. He's been at Arsenal his whole career, in fact, apart from going out on loan to Inter Milan in the second season. This season, he really turned it on, didn't he? He'd never scored 20 goals in the league before. That's my phone buzzing away. Apologies about that. Let's move that out the way. But yeah, 20 goals in the league this season, 10 assists, 27 goals in all competitions. This has been his best season by far, 8.25 average rating. Don't know what's happened. Maybe they've been playing him up front this season. Let's have a look. Yes, indeed, he's moved probably from originally playing attacking midfield, and Arsenal have decided we're going to stick you up front this season, even though you're certainly not a natural striker, and he's only got 14 finishing, but for whatever reason, Arsenal have decided we're going to put him up front, and he's paid dividends. He's been pretty good, hasn't he, up front for them? He's played alongside our man Christian Blanco. They've also got one of our other players, Ted Jacksonian, who hasn't really... He's not first choice, but he gets quite a few goals. Blanco and Nalkovic up front have been lethal this season, so that's good to see. A good partnership between those two. Regan Connor is next, our Australian goalkeeper. He's got 80 caps for his country. Strange that he's not got more, to be honest, but maybe there's another good Australian goalkeeper in there. Possibly, I don't know. The other two don't actually have any caps, so maybe not. Regan Connor, he's good, isn't he? He's only got one on passing, which isn't essential for a goalkeeper, I guess, but it could be important in certain circumstances. He's been at Inter Milan his whole career, and one club man. It's always good to see a one club man, isn't it? Won a few things with Inter's, managed to win the Italian Cup, Super Cup. They won the league in 2022, but haven't managed to win it since then. Going down, Simon Wakefield, who has been a really good player on this save. 101 caps for England. Can play centre-back or anywhere down the right-hand side of the pitch. 4 goals for England, 2 for the defender. Started at Everton, just like on the last series. He was actually an Everton one-club man, but this series he moved to Arsenal for £30.5 million, and his average ratings have been insanely good for both Everton and Arsenal, to be fair. And he's won a lot. He's won the European Championships with England, of course, the FA Cup, runners-up in the Champions League with Arsenal. Where's he playing then? Oh, he's mainly playing right midfield, not playing centre-back at all. So he's moved across to the right-hand side of midfield. Those physicals, especially acceleration, amazing crossing as well, definitely helpful to play on that right-hand side, and he's doing wonders for Arsenal and England. Andreas Egg is next up, German defender, who is a real superstar for Bayern Munich as well. 125 caps for Germany. Exceptional attributes there defensively, especially. He started at Dortmund, and he's one of those players that decided to move to Bayern Munich. And he's half of his time's been spent at Dortmund, half of his time's been spent in Bayern Munich, and he's won a few things. Won the German Cup and the Super Cup with Dortmund, but most of his things, I guess, have been with Bayern. Bayern Munich haven't been dominant lately, though. He's actually not won the league with them since going there. That's really interesting, isn't it? How many years has it been since Bayern Munich won the league? Yeah, that is ironic. Andreas Egg, really unlucky, because when he was in Dortmund's team, Bayern Munich were dominating. He moves to Bayern Munich, and suddenly Dortmund and Schalke have won the league every single year. Bayern Munich have finished 3rd in the last 5 seasons. What the hell's happened to them? I don't know if that's as a result of Andreas Egg, or is it Floyd Leonard not performing up to scratch? I don't know, but Andreas Egg has missed out on a lot of competition victories because of the 2 clubs he's played for, but he's played for them at the wrong time. Moving down to Daniel Jordan then, our England centre-back with 110 caps for England. He's a legendary centre-back, and he's a legend for Manchester United as well. Although he did start at West Brom before moving to Man United in the 5th season for 26 million, oh, 4th season, sorry, for 26 million pounds. And he's been stupendous since then. Brilliant average ratings. He's won loads of things with Man United, have been probably the most successful club on this save, to be honest, out of the big European teams. They have been insane. They have won so many league titles. They won the Champions League, the Club World Championship, Cup competitions as well. And Daniel Jordan has been at the centre of that, literally at the centre back of that. His favourite personnel, look, Kenneth Kennison's on there with him. Good lad. What a player he is. Sander Chieleman is next, our Dutch midfielder or striker. He's got 35 goals in 119 games for the Netherlands. He's now playing for Schalke, having a good period with them. They're playing well. Started in Holland, moved to Sevilla, then moved to Marseille, and then moved to Schalke. All quite low fees, but he's done a good job wherever he's played. You would, oh wait, 31 million. I thought it said 3 million. Okay, moved for big money from Marseille to Schalke. Lots of profit there. I don't know why Sevilla sold him though. That's really strange. But yeah, brilliant stuff from this guy. Exceptional player, can play attacking midfield. That's where he prefers to play. Let's look at his achievements. There's his biography, and of course he's won a few things with Marseille and Schalke. He's been runners-up in the World Cup with Holland as well. That's a bit unlucky. Let's go down to Adediran, our Nigerian Man United player. He's a real good player that we haven't really focused on. Because he's one of these players that's in the 180s current ability, we don't get to see that much of them. We saw him set up a goal for Kennison in the Champions League final, didn't we? 35 goals in 107 games for Nigeria. Started at Madeira in Portugal, eating lots of cake, then moved to Marseille for £15.25 million. But his big money move was to Man United. Marseille have made some good money on the last couple of players we've looked at. And he's been a superstar for Man United. Lots of assists for them. Lots of trophies he's managed to win as well. Won a couple things with Marseille. Well, one thing at the start of his career. But it's Man United where he's seen the most success. Kenneth Kennison is a lovely player by the sounds of it. He's probably given them free chocolate every match or something, and that's why he's a favoured person now. Let's go down to... Where am I? I don't know. Here we are. Simon Stark, our central midfielder from Sweden, and plays for Bayern Munich as well. He's got 94 caps for Sweden. Been at Bayern Munich his whole career, started in the reserves in the second team, but been a mainstay in the team's central midfield since then. So he would have won a lot in the early days with Bayern Munich, as you can see there, winning the league almost, well, every year in fact, and winning the World Cup, remember, with Sweden, which is just an incredible achievement for them. But since 2023, that's their last league title, Bayern Munich. He's not won anything. They've just been runners-up in everything. He's just a standard central midfielder, world-class midfielder, but, you know, just bog standard, goes in the central midfield. Wonderful stuff. Joel Bayford is next, our Israeli Man City player. 89 caps for Israel. He's retired from international duty though, retired 2 years ago. Started at Porto, moved on loan to Villarreal, and then big money move to Man City, £30.5 million. His average ratings aren't amazing. They're alright this season though. Lots of assists, which is good to see. Man City haven't been incredible on this save, let's be honest. They have won the league twice. Well, he's won the league twice. He's won the FA Cup and the Euro Cup. But they haven't been as dominant as their Manchester rivals or Chelsea, for example. He's another guy that likes to play central midfield, advanced playmaker role. Going down then to Igor Zhumanov, the Russian, with 88 caps for his country and 28 goals. Also plays for Bayern Munich. They've got a lot of players. Started at Zenit though, moved to PSG. Now he's moved to Bayern Munich. And he's not winning anything with Bayern Munich, unfortunately. But he would have won a lot with PSG, as you can see here. In fact, he's won nothing with Bayern Munich. But plenty of things with PSG. There's his biography. Quite a versatile player, but definitely prefers to play left wing, as you can see there. 32 appearances on the left wing for Bayern Munich this season. Dario Plume is next, one of our Norwegian players. 19 goals in 93 games for Norway. It's worth £50 million. Very good central midfielder for Chelsea, where he's been his whole career. It took him 5 seasons to really become a first team regular, or maybe even the 6th season when he was a starter. But since then, good average ratings, as you can see there. That's his biography. Seems quite small, but he's won plenty of things with Chelsea over the years, as you can see there. He's won the Champions League and Champions League 2 seasons in a row now as well. So what a player. What a player. Really, he worked hard at the start to get into that Chelsea team, and he's stuck at it. He didn't go out on loan. He didn't get sold to another team. He just was determined to stay with Chelsea, and he's turned into a really good player. Obviously moulded by Cesc Fabregas by the looks of things, and deep line playmaker, yeah, definitely moulded by Fabregas. Ted Jacksonian then, we've already had a quick look at him at Arsenal. He's got 43 goals in 95 games for Serbia. That is Serbia, let's just check, yep. I should really know, I do know flags quite well. I really enjoyed flags when I was little and I did geography. I've got a geography degree, but that doesn't mean you're good at flags or map reading. I know it sounds like it should be, but you spend so much time studying rivers, you don't really look at flags or that traditional geography. Anyhow, I digress. Ted Jacksonian is unhappy because he's not being played, I think. Yeah, wants more first team opportunities. Started at Karasue in Germany in the 2nd division. How interesting, before moving to Frankfurt. And starting to he's never been a prolific goal scorer, as you can see there. Moved to Roma for 11.5 million. Then the season following that, after a good season with Roma, moved to Arsenal but only scored 9 goals. And since then, 20 goals in his 3rd season with Arsenal, and then 20 goals in his 5th season with Arsenal. Then this season, 12 goals. So he's not quite consistent enough to be a top quality striker, I guess. Although he's got the ability to. He's not actually won anything in his career either, unfortunately, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, Ted Jacksonian has a current ability of 178, so it is world class. He's just not consistent enough with that world class ability he owns, I guess is the correct word. James Miller is next then, another Swede, 115 caps for Sweden, 39 goals, and he also plays for Manchester City. But he started at Leipzig, had not a great time there, to be honest, before moving for 19.5 million to Schalke, where he improved as a player before moving for £52 million to Man City, where he's been really good. 21 goals this season as well. He's not an out-and-out striker either. Can play attacking midfield. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's played most games attacking midfield, and to get that many goals from attacking midfield is pretty impressive. He's described as a legendary forward, so even players halfway down the list are being described as legendary, because that's how good all these players are. Felix is next, another Honduras player, but he's a more defensive player. He's only got 3 goals for his country, 126 caps, but retired 2 years ago, so to get to that 126 and then retire, very impressive. Plays for Dortmund, started at Real Betis before moving for 21.5 million. As you can see there, he's not a goal scorer at all. 16 league goals in his career. It's not bad though. Average rating's not as good as some of the other players we've seen, but it's alright, isn't it? And he's won plenty of things with Dortmund, especially in the last few years, where they've been dominating the league. There's his biography, and he's mainly been playing right back. He's not a starter though at the moment, so he might want to move. Last season he was, but this season, look, they've obviously got someone else in, and he's not really starting as much, so he may want to move to a different team to get first team football next season. There's Theodor Zertuni next, one of our World Cup winning Swedish players who scored many goals at that World Cup. In fact, 120 caps for Sweden, 50 goals, and he's been at Inter Milan his whole career, apart from going out on loan to Swansea. He's not prolific as a striker, but he probably has other elements to his game. As you can see, he doesn't really score. He only really scores over 10 goals a season, sometimes over 15. So average rating's not been amazing, but he's been at Inter his whole career, so he's committed, isn't he? Committed to the cause. Won the World Cup, of course, 3rd place in the Confederations Cup as well, which was actually won by Mexico this time round. England won the previous one, and Germany previous to that. But I quite like him because that one year, 2022, when they won the World Cup, he was just lethal for Sweden, which was really interesting. He's a complete forward, so I guess he can be used as a target man or add other elements to his game. And just, I mean, his media description, clinical striker, he's not clinical. That is a poor description from the media, as usual. Let's go on then to Yoda, another Scot, 97 caps for Scotland. He hasn't retired from international duty yet. He's a cultured midfielder apparently. Started at Swansea, moved to Man United for 34.5 million. He's definitely not a goal scorer, but this season lots of assists, 17 in all competitions. Beforehand didn't really get many. He's just a standard central midfielder, I guess, that holds the team together, the glue between the defence and the attack. Deep line playmaker, there you go. So he's probably setting up the assist player, I guess. Favourite personnel, Gordon Strachan, manager, who was manager of Scotland, I guess, at the start. Whenever a player is capped by a manager, the first cap that they get, they do seem to favour that manager after that point. Tiki Taka is next. Lovely name. It's decided to freeze. The Monaco player plays for American Samoa, 49 caps for America Samoa. Those technicals at the top there, very impressive. He plays for Monaco, started in Australia, playing for 2 different teams, although he only played for one of them. But since going to Monaco, he's had a really good career. Look at all those average ratings, very, very impressive. And he's won plenty of things with Monaco. He's won the French Cup, he's won Ligue 1, he's won everything going, really, in France. He's got a long old biography there as well. Mainly plays, in fact he only plays left midfield as a winger. Sergei Rebrov, former manager, his favourite personnel. Is he still he's manager of Juventus now. Interesting. It's a world-class winger, this guy. So he's actually 176 current ability. Like I said, world-class. The media described him as world-class. So that's why I say anyone above 175 is world-class. Christian Serrera then, Spanish goalkeeper. 35 caps for Spain is not bad considering the competition. Let's look at the competition, in fact. He's got 35 caps. In fact, he's probably the main goalkeeper now because the other two guys are below him on current ability. Escudero is a bit younger. Actually had the potential but hasn't reached it. So Serrera is the best goalkeeper in Spain now available. I guess he had De Gea, who's competing with De Gea for many years. But he's a great player. He's been at Celta his whole career. What brilliant loyalty from him. But I think he's had a bid had he had a bid accepted for him? Maybe not. I must have been seeing things there. Let's look at his biography then. Has he managed to win anything with Celta? Oh, blimey, they won the league this year. Obviously I haven't seen this because last episode was the previous season. They have beaten Barcelona and Real Madrid to the... That is incredibly impressive. What have they done? How have they done that? I don't know. Celta, unbelievable stuff from there. The key player is Serrera, the goalkeeper. He must have just kept everyone out. And that is very impressive. I just want to look at the current ability players in there. Yeah, he's actually the best player. They've got some decent players, but nothing spectacular apart from him. Wow, that is one of the biggest surprises we've seen so far, actually. I mean, Sweden and South Korea winning the World Cup, but for Celta to beat Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, I mean, they should be below about 5 or 6 other teams, realistically, really, but he's led them to glory. Third most clean sheets this season. Exceptional stuff from Serrera. And... yeah, legend, absolute legend. So he doesn't need to move from Celta to win things. He's won something already. Vasco Damianov next is... I can't talk, sorry. Vasco Damianov is next. There we go, that was much better. 93 caps for Bulgaria, 43 goals. Plays for Valencia. Started at Genk in Belgium. Moved for 13.75 million. And he's got better as a player. His average ratings have been decent over the years. Not spectacular. He's won the Spanish Cup with Valencia, but unfortunately that is it. So he's not won very much in his career. Attacking midfielder or central midfielder, whatever he prefers on the day, whatever the manager tells him to do, I guess. Next up is Alex Newton. Was a really prolific striker on the last series, and he's pretty prolific this series, and he started off really well. It looked like he was going to be a superstar, and he only ever really... Did he ever get above 175 current ability? He's 174 at the moment. He may have declined slightly, I don't know. He's wanted by 9 clubs at the moment, as you can see there. Maybe Chelsea have ruined him, I don't know. Let's have a look in a second. 27 goals in 51 games for England, though. That's really good. But yes, he's been at Chelsea for a long, long time. Started at West Brom, played plenty of games for them. Moved to Swansea, played plenty of games in that first season, 20 goals in that first season in fact. But the mistake was going to Chelsea. Big teams can ruin players, and there's no exception of our players. They can be ruined, remember, by a big team, despite having a great start to his career. He has just been neglected by Chelsea, but look at him, every season. The goals to game ratio is still very good, despite not getting many games under his belt. 5 goals in 4 starts and 10 sub appearances. That's not bad at all. 9 goals, 5 goals, 3 goals, 9 goals. Doesn't sound much, but when you look at how many games he's actually played, it's a lot of goals. He scores goals. He's prolific, but Chelsea have not given him a chance to be their main man. He's probably won a lot with Chelsea because he's been involved in the team. Look, he's won loads. He's won everything going. But he's hardly played any games, which is a real shame because he's an exceptional player and he's just been neglected. And I hope he moves now and has a good swan song to his career in his 30s, because he deserves that, I think. Zander is next, another Scottish player, 34 goals in 97 games for Scotland. He's another Chelsea player, but he's one that is actually played by Chelsea. Started at Blackburn, moved on a free to Chelsea at the end of his contract. And he's quite versatile, can play midfield, striker. He won loads of things with Chelsea, of course. But he mainly plays attacking midfield for his club. As you can see, is Conte still in charge of Chelsea? He is. Oh wait, because on this save he won't have been in charge of Chelsea at the start, would he? Because this isn't... would he? No, I don't think he would. So he's just moved to Chelsea on this save, just like in real life. Okay, let's go back to Fergie Ferguson, who was riding high before. I didn't think his current ability was this low, and he may have dropped off. Pretty sure he was in the list of, he was getting into like 3rd place for World Golden Ball and World Player of the Year. And that was this year. Oh no, that's Champions League, sorry. That's interesting. Either he's dropped off quite a lot recently, down to the 170s marks, or he was just doing really well, making the most of what he has and actually managing to get into the World Golden Ball nominations by just being a really good player. Because he's scored so many goals every season up front of Kenneth Kennison, as you can see, loads of goals. He's dropped off lately, but he's still getting over 20 goals a season. Interesting. I don't know. He may be just one of those players that's dropped off towards his late 20s, a bit like how I guess Wayne Rooney has done that. You start off really strong when you're 16, 17, and you just run out of steam. Some players just can't keep going for 20 years, like Francesco Totti. Some players, like Michael Owen, just decline dramatically, even in his mid-20s, probably because of injuries, but it's just the way it goes sometimes, isn't it? You can be an early bloomer and just drop off gradually, or you can be an early bloomer and keep going for your whole career, or you can be an early bloomer and just completely flop by your mid-20s because you've run out of steam. Anyway, Sebastian Hanna is next, our Norwegian striker or attacking midfielder. 68 goals in 104 games for Norway, really impressive record. £142 million worth of transfer fees here. He started at Man United, went on loan to Hoffenheim and Napoli before moving to Schalke for £24.5 million. Following season, moved to AC Milan for £47.5 million. 2 seasons later, moved to Man City, even though he started at Man United, for £70 million. And he's done pretty well. He's scored a fair number of goals. He's won a few different things, only with Man City though. There's his biography. Where's he play? Only up front. He's a poacher. Interesting career that guy's had. Next up then, let's go down. Cameron Cunningham is the top of the pile as I've zoomed down. He's a striker or attacking midfielder as well. 59 goals in 124 games for Algeria. That's pretty impressive. And he plays for Marseille. Started at Toulouse, went over to England, didn't make it. Moved back to France for 25 million. And he's had a good career with Marseille. I don't know if he's won anything. Let's have a look. Oh, he won the FA Cup with Man United. He also won the African Cup of Nations. Let's have a look at the winners. We've had Algeria, Tunisia, Guinea, Tunisia, Algeria, Ivory Coast, and Ivory Coast in the last few years. But he's been runners-up so many times 3 times with Marseille, so that's a bit unfortunate really, isn't it? He's a striker. Target man, apparently. We're now up to Rahil Master, our Palestinian attacking midfielder or striker. 70 caps for Palestine. 5 goals as well for his nation. And as you can see here, he's spent his whole career in Italy, apart from going on loan to Braga for 1 season. Moved from Roma to AC Milan for £14.25 million in 2020. He's a good player, a very good player. He's done well in Italy, as you can see. He's won a few things, the Italian Cup a couple of times, and he did win Serie A with AC Milan as well, which is good stuff. And he's predominantly being played on the right hand side of midfield by AC Milan, but also a few games up front. Let's go down to McLovin, our North Korean goalkeeper, who plays for FC Lorient. 130 caps in North Korea. He has survived so far. He still may get executed at some point if he lets a few too many goals in against South Korea one day. He started at Juventus, moved to Roma for 69k, went on loan to Hamburg, then was signed for Pescara for very little money before FC Lorient decided to sign him for 1.1 million, and since then he's stayed in France and he's done okay. Average rating in last season was particularly good actually for a goalkeeper. He's won the Italian Cup with Juventus, that's all he's managed to win. Oh, and the Italian Super Cup. There's his biography. Obviously he plays in goal, doesn't have any favoured personnel or players. Maybe he's not allowed to have favoured personnel because he's under control from the North Korean army and government. James Miller is next, our Swedish attacking midfielder or striker, 39 goals in 115 games for Sweden. I swear I've already looked at him. Have we already looked at him? I have a feeling we have. We have, oh dear. Wait, what's going on here? Oh, the thing's messed up. That's the problem. Okay, we should be able to rectify this. So we've already looked at McLovin. We're up to Rahil Master. We're down to Golden Puskas. Okay, sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. Golden Puskas is next after Rahil Master. Then we already looked at McLovin. I didn't think McLovin was up there. In the 170s. Anyway, Golden Puskas, our Hungarian, who's based on the real Puskas, of course. Hungary are 81st in the world. They haven't reached those heady heights of the 50s, unfortunately. But my player's done alright. Almost a 1 in 2 goal ratio. I've been at Juventus for the majority of my career there, you can see. And every now and then I put in a really good season. 3 seasons ago, only 2 goals. I hardly played a game. Then 2 seasons ago, 10 goals, but this season, 20 goals. It's just strange how some seasons I'm just not played. It might be due to injuries, to be fair. There's my biography. I've won loads of things with Juventus, as you would expect. And overall, I'm pretty happy with my achievements, I guess. Let's go down then to... where are we? I've got lost. Connor Crofts. Wait, has that moved again? Have we looked at we didn't look at Mikhailov. Oh, the game is messing with me here. I do apologise if I've missed anyone out. I feel really bad now if I have. Jack Mikhailov then, our Russian. 128 caps, 6 goals for Russia. He's played for some big teams and £100 million worth of transfer fees as well. Moving from Zenit to Bayern Munich to Man City and now to Spurs towards the end of his career. Didn't play as many games this season, unfortunately. Won plenty of things particularly Bayern Munich. Won the only actually runners-up with Man City in the Euro Cup. There's his biography. He's a good, solid central midfield, ball-winning midfielder. It's always good to see a ball-winning midfielder in there, isn't it? Okay, so we've seen Mikhailov, we've seen Puskas. Connor Crofts then is next. Welsh midfielder, 110 caps for Wales, and he's now at Man City. He started at Everton, but finally moved to Man City for £58 million. Hasn't really been a first-team regular, but has managed to win the Euro Cup and the Premier League and the Capital One Cup in his time at Manchester City. Also runners-up in the FA Cup with Everton, and he won the Scottish Cup with Celtic early on in his career and the Scottish League. Central midfielder who could also play right wing, as you can see there. Next up is Christopher Polakis, another player of 171 current ability. From Fiji, 58 caps, 1 more than Gamble in fact. Only 2 goals for his country, but he is a defender. He is just a standard, decent, very good, decent. What am I talking? He's a very good centre-back or left-back, and he's been at Monaco since that second season when he moved for £4.8 million from Panathinaikos. Incredibly good average ratings, as you can see there. He's won plenty of things with Monaco. There's his biography, and he actually plays an equal number of games at left-back and centre-back for Monaco. Josh Jolly is next, our left-back from Bulgaria, who's got 1 goal for his country, despite having 20 on long shots and 18 on finishing. But still, he is a good goalkeeper. A good player. My brain has been frazzled. You may have noticed these videos are long, and after a while, my mind and my mouth do not cooperate. Unfortunately, he's been at Man City his whole career, apart from 2 seasons out on loan. Good average ratings. He's only scored 2 league goals in his career, despite those good attacking attributes. But he is a left back, remember. He's not going to be scoring that many goals, I guess. He's won a few things with Man City in his time, and yep, he plays left back. Has played right back as well this season a couple times. Chris Reed is next, and another Manchester City player and another England player. 15 goals in 44 games for England. He was prolific at under 21 level. He's done alright at full international level, but not incredibly well. Started at Burnley, moved to Rangers for free, then moved to West Ham for £7 million before massive profit from West Ham here. £30.5 million move to Leicester City, and then even more money moving to Man City for £46 million. But his move to Man City was a money move because he's not a first team player, as you can see there. He plays a few games, but he's not a regular starter. What has he won in his time? He's won a few things with Man City. He won the Euro Cup with Leicester, 3rd place in the World Cup with England, Scottish Cup with Rangers as well. So he's won a few things in his career. And he mainly plays attacking midfield, does play up front as well though. I think probably in his early days he was playing up front mainly, but now he seems to be playing attacking midfield, which may be a bit detrimental to his progress. James Brown is next, another English defender. Only 16 caps for England, but he's still a very solid player. We've got quite a few decent English centre-backs on this save, so it's quite a hard team to break into. And he's played a fair number of games for England, so it's quite impressive. And he knows his level. Crystal Palace, he was up and down between the Premier League and Championship. Finally moved to QPR, also in the Premier League, and he's done pretty well for them, playing pretty much every league game every season. And FA Cup runners-up, he won the Capital One Cup with QPR. That's quite impressive. Let's just have a look at the winners. QPR and Watford, the last 2 winners, which is good to see. FA Cup-wise, they lost the final against Chelsea last season. West Ham finally winning the FA Cup for the first time since 1980. I like that. And he's done well as James Brown. You know, not spectacular, but he's a decent centre-back. Josh Pataki then, our other Hungarian, who was better than Golden Puskas, but I think he's dropped off a bit, and goals-wise for his country, certainly not as good as Golden Puskas. 38 goals in 107 games for Hungary. However, he's played for Arsenal for his whole career apart from a couple of loan spells, and he's been a pretty good goal scorer apart from 3 seasons ago. I'm guessing he was injured then. Last season 20 goals, this season 13 goals in all competitions. Well, he wasn't a main starter, only 6 starts, 13 goals, that's pretty good going. He's won plenty of things in his time with Arsenal. He is a striker, tends to play as a striker, although his preferred role is as a shadow striker, apparently, behind the main man Golden Puskas, I guess, for his country. Now we are up to Frank Paul Nuasala, who had a cracking start to his career with, well, internationally especially, with New Zealand. In the end, he's got 117 goals in 125 games for New Zealand. Don't think he's retired from international duty yet, though. There's still maybe a few more goals in him. Moved around a lot early on in his career. Started at Newcastle Jets in Australia, moved to Inter, went out on loan to Malaga, Shakhtar, Besiktas and Fenerbahce, where he did pretty well. Back to Inter Milan, but he didn't get in the team. Moved to Dortmund for 13.5 million, didn't get in the team. Moved to Inter's rivals, AC Milan, and got into the team, and has had a very good career since then. This season, 29 goals in all competitions. He's doing really well towards his late 20s, which is great to see. Internationally at the start of his career, amazing, but club level didn't quite cut it. It's the other way around now. He sort of, maybe his international career slowed slightly, but he's doing really, really well at club level, which is good to see. And he plays as an out-and-out target man, as you can see there. Matt Ruda is next, our American international. 58 goals in 132 games for his country. That's a good record, very good record. And club level, he's played for some big teams. Started in Holland, moved to Fiorentina. Look, £100 million worth of transfer fees. He's obviously a big player. He moved to Bayern Munich for 26 million, didn't get in the team. Moved to Real Madrid for 23 million, didn't get in the team. Really, scored 3 goals, which is not bad really. Moved to Zenit for 7.25 million, revived his career, especially in the second season, 28 goals. Third season, 12 goals in 20. He moved to Bayern Munich in the same season, back to the team that had signed him 4 years previously. Scored 8 goals, 7 goals, 3 goals, 5 goals and 11 goals. He's not quite a main player for Bayern Munich, unfortunately, so he may need to move back to a team like Zenit to revive his career once again. It's been a topsy-turvy career for him. He's not really won anything. He's won the North American Gold Cup with USA twice and runners-up in a few other things, but his time at Bayern Munich, he's missed out on all the league titles, hasn't he? Which is a bit of a shame. He's a good player, but it's not quite working out for him how he would have liked, I guess. Jedi Knight is next. He's been really good on this save, especially with assists, actually, funnily enough. He's the Barbados guy, 129 caps for Barbados. He plays for PSG, where he's been for a number of years. Started at Barnsley, moved to Atlanta, moves to PSG, and look at all those assists he gets for PSG. It's very impressive, actually. And of course, he's won plenty of things with PSG. He mainly plays as a central midfielder. He's not really... He's more of an advanced playmaker, as you can see there. He can play defensive midfield, but he prefers to play in an advanced role. Apparently he's a tenacious defensive midfielder. He is, I guess, but well, no, he's not. Aggression 4. I mean, I wouldn't regard someone tenacious if they've only got 4 on aggression. These media descriptions are very strange. Ollie Kenneth Stokker is next. Our Norwegian goalkeeper, 97 caps for Norway. And he plays for Tottenham still. Started at Juventus, remember, before moving to Spurs for £21 million. And he's done all right there. Conceded 37 goals in 33 games this season. It's not too bad, really. He's won quite a few things with Spurs. Runners-up in the Champions League twice. He's won the Euro Cup. He's won the Capital One Cup. He's had a good career. He's a very good goalkeeper. Baked Benz is next, our guy from Micronesia. They just don't really play many internationals, which is why he's only got 37 caps. He plays for Manchester United. He's been there for a number of years now. Started at Villa, moved to Dortmund for 21 million. They made a loss on him. There's a lot of players that have gone to Dortmund and left. It's quite odd. But yeah, he moved to United for 18.5 million, where he's had a very good career. Look at that average rating this season. That is insane. 7.94 in the league. There's his biography. And of course, whilst at Man United, he has won plenty of competitions. And he's mainly a left back, but can play left midfield as well. He actually prefers to play left midfield, but he's playing left back for Man United, who is Simeone in charge? He is indeed. Interesting. Ola Norman is next. Another Norwegian player. We haven't really focused on him at all series, because he's just in the middle. We haven't really seen him. Plays for Juventus though, a big player for Juventus. Started at Liverpool, moved to Juventus for £38 million, and he's played lots of games every single season. He is a good player. He's won plenty of things, as you can see there. And there's his information. Centre back, or actually he's mainly a right back. A limited fullback is his preferred role at right back, and that's where he's been playing for Juventus. MJ Pegasus is next in, our Swedish goalkeeper, who's got 89 caps for Sweden. Where are they in the world rankings now? 26th. Remember when they won the World Cup? They've dropped off a bit since then. He's played for some big teams. Bayern Munich, didn't get in the team. Chelsea, didn't get in the team. Before moving to Torino for 2.8 million, where he finally had some game time. And by this point, he must have been, mid-20s, I guess. Early to mid-20s. But he's played pretty much every league game since then, and now he's moved to Bordeaux on a free, and he had a very good record last year. 26 league goals conceded in 28, 36 in 47 in all competitions, 23 clean sheets in all competitions. That's very impressive. Of course, he won the World Cup with Sweden, runners-up in the International League as well, won the FA Cup twice with Chelsea, despite not really playing any games. And there he is, as a goalkeeper, of course. Oh, Manuel Neuer, former teammate. That was a great former teammate to have. Must have learnt quite a lot from him, although he's not a sweeper keeper. Moving on to Urho Kekkonen, our Finnish striker. 41 goals in 108 games for Finland. He started in Holland. I went to Ajax for 8.5 million, moved to Spurs for 11 million, then moved to Everton for 9.5 million. Some seasons he just didn't play many games for Spurs. I'm guessing that was an injury that caused those problems. But at Everton, he is definitely getting first team football, which is good to see. He managed to win the Club World Championship. Well, he won the Champions League with Spurs and the Euro Cup. So that's not a bad CV at all, even though he's not got that many winning medals in his cabinet. He's won the important ones, hasn't he? Champions League and the Euro Cup. Let's go down to Chris Harris Jr. then, our Puerto Rican player. 51 goals in 129 games for Puerto Rico. He is an attacking midfielder, or central midfielder, who started at Fenerbahce, moved to Atletico Madrid for 11.75 million, and he's been a very important player for them ever since. Atletico haven't really been very successful on this save. They have managed to win the Spanish Super Cup. He won the Belgian Pro League in his season on loan at Ghent, but that is it. Atletico have been pretty non-existent on this save, whereas on Emulating Messi, I think they were really successful from what I remember. They generally are very successful on Football Manager, but it's not quite worked out. Did we look at his biography? Let's just want to check. There we go. It's not worked out for him, or for Atletico. He's a good player, he's done well on this save, but it's not worked out for Atletico Madrid. TJD is next, our Chinese player with 143 caps and 68 goals. Really, really good technical player, as you can see there. Good mentals as well. He's a good all-round player, to be fair. Plays for AC Milan. Let's just look at what he's managed to win. He's won a few things, including the league with AC Milan. Started in Holland, moved to Gladbach for decent money, moved to Juventus for 27 million before moving to AC Milan for 26 million the following season. Isaac Spielman is next, our player from Peru. 33 goals in 104 games for him. He's a versatile player, good all-round player, as you can see there. This is one of the guys that on Patreon decided he just wanted to have his name included in the series, and everything else was randomised. I picked a random nation, which turned out to be Peru. All his attributes and everything, his position, they were all randomised, and it's actually done him a favour because he's just become a really good all-round player. He can do anything. The lowest he's got a couple of 7s and a 9, but everything else is above a 10. Lots of 14s and 13s and 15s in there, which has turned him into a very decent player. Started at Juventus, went out on loan a few times, did okay at Juventus, good average ratings, moved to Chelsea, became a bit more of an important player there, and he's won a few things with Juventus and Chelsea in his time, including the Champions League 2 seasons in a row, remember? So just because Isaac decided to go for the option where he just selected his name to definitely be included in the series via Patreon, he's turned out to be a very good player nevertheless. So yeah, it doesn't matter if you don't pick your top attributes, you can just turn out to be an all-round player, I guess, with the potential rating of -10, I suppose. Kwame is next, our Ghanaian. 34 goals in 98 games for Ghana. Plays for Lazio, but he's only just moved. He started at Madeira, just like a few of our players. Moved to Besiktas on a free. Moved to Schalke for 14.25 million. Had a successful time with them, apart from the last 2 seasons. Then he moved to Lazio for 4.1 million. There's his biography. He's won the league with Schalke, Champions League runners-up as well. And he is a striker, a poacher predominantly. Here we have Paul the Brick Brown, also from Finland, second nationality, Gabonese, from Gabon anyway. He's a rather defensive player, as you can see he can play in the first third of the pitch very effectively. He's currently at Malaga, but started at Antalyaspor in Turkey, before moving to Man City for £6.75 million. Then he went on loan to Olympiacos, back to Man City, couldn't break into the first team, so moved to Malaga for £5.5 million, where he's had a very good career, really good average ratings actually, looking at that. He's won the European Super Cup, he won the Euro Cup twice with, once with Man City, then with Malaga, and he's done pretty well actually, considering you wouldn't expect Malaga to be winning the Euro Cup, so they've done really well. He's mainly played right back, as you can see there, but can play centre back for Malaga as well. Okay, moving on to the next player, which is Drake Dake. Oh, I can see the bottom of the list, that's good. Drake Dake is next, 113 caps for Uzbekistan, great nation. 58th in the world, really high actually, that's a surprise. He is their best player. And is he there? Yeah, he is. Drake Dake. He's an all-round player, as you can see here, a bit like Isaac Spielman. He plays for Zenit, but started at Swindon, moved to Celtic on a free, then moved to AS Monaco for 5.75 million before Dortmund decided to spend. This is another player Dortmund spend big money on, don't play him, then sell him for a massive loss to Zenit for £3.6 million, where he's had a really good time. Actually, really strong average ratings from Drake Dake. He's won only the Ladbrokes Premiership with Celtic. We can't actually see what he's won with Zenit because I don't have the Russian league loaded, I'm afraid, but I'm pretty sure he would have won a few league titles. In fact, we can have a look. Where am I? Let's go back. We want to go to the Russian Premier League. Zenit have won it every year, so he's won multiple league titles. Anyone that's played for Zenit, you've won the Russian Premier League, basically. Moving on to Adam Scarvacci, our Venezuelan. 1 goal for Venezuela for the centre-back. Plays for Schalke, started at Hurricane in Argentina, moved to Lazio for 4.3 million. Then moved to Schalke for 13 million. He's had some very good average ratings there. Really strong. He's won a few things. He's won the league and the Super Cup a couple of times. Very solid centre-back. Neville Longbottom. Great name. Causing problems all over the pitch with his magical dribbling ability, I'm sure. 10 goals in 84 games for Greece, and he plays with Dynamo Kiev. Started at Porto, he's been on loan a few times as well, signed for Roma for 3.3 million before going to Dynamo Kiev for 3.6 million. Bit different, playing in Ukraine, good on him, trying something different in his career. We can't actually see what he's won, but Dynamo Kiev have won the league a couple times. They haven't been completely dominant though, but I think he's probably got a couple of league titles under his belt. Where has he been playing? Attacking midfield mainly, as you can see there. Edouard van den Brink, our Dutch striker. Only 16 goals in 76 games for Holland though. They keep playing him despite the fact he's not really prolific. Started in Holland, moved to Liverpool, then moved to Leicester for £32 million. And as you can see, he's never really been a prolific striker, but everyone keeps playing him. I guess he gets other players involved. That's the type of striker he is, I presume. He's a poacher though, or an advanced forward, so you would expect him to be scoring the goals, if I'm honest. James Hughes is next, a Welsh attacking midfielder, can play on either wing. 23 goals in 103 games for Wales. He's a talented guy. Started at Wolves, moved to West Ham, then moved to Arsenal for very big money. He's only just slowed down in the last couple of seasons, so I think he was a top player until very recently, where he's just declined slightly. He's only ever won the Capital One Cup though. Arsenal, like I said, just haven't been at all prolific on this save, which is a shame for them. Steve Stevenage is next. Now this is the interesting guy because he is a staff member as well, but I don't think he's ever really done... Oh look, a coach. He can be a coach, but is he a coach at Dortmund? That is the question, because I think he's just playing, if I'm honest. I don't know. Is there a way of seeing if he's coaching as well? No, I think he's just been a player, so he's not decided to be a coach yet, but I'm sure at the end of his career he will be. Started at Man City, went on loan a few times, moved to Juventus for big money before moving to Dortmund for big money, and this is a player that actually stayed at Dortmund. Last couple of years though he has dropped off. Won plenty of things with Dortmund in the most recent years because they've kept winning the league, haven't they? So it's not really affected Dortmund, the fact they've made massive losses on a lot of players, because they have actually turned it around and been really strong over the last few years. And I'm guessing they were just trying to find the players that would suit their style. And they've got a few players. They've got Steve Stevens. Have they got anyone else? I don't know, but they've definitely got at least one of our players. Jack Tarnay is next, to Brazilian. Oh, where are we going? Brazil are first in the world. He's only got 6 caps for Brazil. Never became the main left back for Brazil, unfortunately. He's played the majority of his career at Napoli, as you can see there. Very good average ratings. There's his biography and what he's managed to win. He's won a few things with Napoli, as you can see there. Runners-up in the Euro Cup this year. Joseph Wagner is next, our guy from Zambia. 68 caps for Zambia. I do like the little bird thing on the Zambian flag. Is it an eagle? Not entirely sure. It's like a phoenix. He is a very good all-round player. I think he's one of the other guys that went for the option of just selecting his name. Started in Portugal, moved to Belgium, moved to Austria. He's gone on a European tour. Spent 4 years in Saint Etienne before moving to Verona in Italy. He's never really been an incredible player, average rating wise, but it probably is because he's just moved around so much and he's never won a competition in his life that we can see. He may have done in the Austrian league, I guess, because we don't have that one loaded. Let's go down to Ryan Ellel, our Brazilian who has never been capped. Unfortunately, he's worth 2.2 million. Playing back in Brazil now. Started at Madeira, moved to Corinthians, moved over to England, where he couldn't really break in to the Everton first team. Moved back to Brazil, and now he's at Santos, one of the biggest teams in Brazil, where he is scoring a few goals, but he's never going to be a superstar, is he? Running out of time to make an impact, really. Decent striker, but he's not anything special. He's good, but not special, unfortunately. 151 current ability. Is a good player, but yeah. Ben Savage is next, a winger who has got 47 goals in 109 games for Australia. He really has been a journeyman. Look at this. It is ridiculous how much he has moved around. I was talking last episode about him moving around. Because he went to MK Dons, didn't he, in the last one? And this season, he had a decent season for MK Dons in the Premier League. Who won it? Chelsea. Middlesbrough. Liverpool relegated along with Wolves. That is a shock. Liverpool going down. Interesting. Very interesting. He's been playing left wing mainly. Can also play right wing. There's his biography. He's won a few things in his time in various countries. Won the Asian Nations Cup with Australia as well, which has been won by South Korea and Australia on this save. Moving down to McLovin, who we've already seen, the North Korean goalkeeper. Got modelled up a bit earlier on. James Spence then, our central midfielder from Cyprus. 96 caps for his country. Plays for Frankfurt now. Started at Real Betis though. Moved to Marseille. Moved into Milan. Didn't break into the first team. Moved to Frankfurt, where he's managed to finally establish himself. A lot of players didn't really establish themselves until 2023. They were just moving around trying to find a club that would fit their purpose. And he's not had the best of careers average rating wise. Never won anything in Germany or Italy, but he did win the Coupe de la Ligue with Marseille. There's his biography and his information. Deep line playmaker is where he likes to play. We're nearly there, guys. I think I'm just about going to survive. Bend Over is next. Guy from Seychelles, 117 caps for Seychelles, who are 166th in the world rankings. Yeah, not amazing, but he's had a good international career nonetheless. Started at Real Madrid, couldn't break into the team. Moved to AS Monaco, didn't really break into the team properly anyway, before moving to Valencia, where he's had a decent time over the past 3 seasons. And he has managed to win a few things with Monaco, in fact. And he did actually win the Spanish Cup with Real Madrid in his time there. Martin Flixhaug then, our Norwegian winger. 61 caps for Norway. He's just been relegated with Liverpool. He only just moved there 2 seasons ago. It's your fault, Martin. You got Liverpool relegated. Blame Martin. Hashtag. PSG started. He started at PSG. That's the correct way to form that sentence. Moved on loan a few times. Went to Monaco, their rivals, and then to Atletico Madrid before ending up at Liverpool. Some seasons he's played lots of games. Other seasons he hasn't. He's an interesting player. Oh wow! Liverpool were relegated before because they won the Championship in 2027. So they've been up and down. Also won the French Champions Trophy and the Coupe de la Ligue. He mainly plays attacking midfield, but didn't really play that many games last season, I don't think. Busquets Jr. then, he was never capped by England. He's unlikely to be capped by England now, isn't he? Despite getting lots of youth caps. Started at Leicester, went on loan to Villa and West Ham, ended up at Villa in the end. Where he's had an alright career, nothing special, no amazing average ratings. He's only ever won the Championship with Aston Villa. And he's a central midfielder, deep line playmaker. Gareth Southgate is his favoured personnel. That's all we have to say, really. Going down to Cahill Timmy, our Australian striker, 47 goals in 97 games for Australia. Playing for Blackburn now. Started at Sydney, moved to Holland, moved to England, where he played for Fulham, moved to France for big money to Bordeaux. But then they made a loss, a really big loss, because he moved to Blackburn for very little money, where had a decent first couple seasons, but last season hardly played. All he's won in his time is the Asian Nations Cup. Yeah, I guess the players at the bottom aren't going to be incredible, are they? That's just the fact. That's just a fact. Asuza Nakano, our Japanese player. Although a lot of these players have been capped very heavily by their nations. This guy, 139 caps for Japan. He's played for some big teams. Started at Napoli, moved to Crystal Palace, moved to Genoa, moved to Roma, and then ended up at Spurs this season, where he played a fair number of games, despite the fact he's towards the bottom of the list. Current ability wise, he's still a decent player. He really is, because what is he? 144 current ability is not too bad at all. Matt Rowe then is next, our Swiss international, 66 caps for Switzerland. Started at Derby, moved to Atletico Madrid, it didn't work out there, moved to Malaga, didn't work out there, moved to Celta, didn't work out there, moved to QPR, Did work out in the first season, then it didn't work out. Moved to Marseille, didn't work out there. And it's only really since he's moved to Celtic that he's finally become a regular. I mean, he was a regular at Derby. He shouldn't have left Derby. It ruined him when he left Derby. And it's just not gone well for him since then. He could have been so much better than he was. He's won things in Celtic, though, at least. I mean, at least that's a positive. The start of his career, great. End of his career, great. The middle just went wrong for him. It just wasn't played by anyone, which is a bit irritating. Noel Timothy, then, our Canadian centre-back, who can play up front as well. He's got 47 goals in 108 games for Canada, so he must play up front for them. Started at Montreal, moved to Paris, PSG, moved to Middlesbrough, Fulham, Stoke, and then Palermo. Played plenty of games in his career, and not been massively prolific, but maybe that's because he can play anywhere. I mean, he's mainly played centre-back this season, but for his country, he plays in centre-back and up front. I think when he plays up front for Canada, he probably scores. When he plays at the back, he is less likely to. So he's an impressive player. It's different. Someone that can play up front and in defence equally is really interesting. Nathan Libero Loca, 130 current ability. There's only one player below that. This is one of our sweepers. 10 goals in 51 games for Tahiti. It's not too bad at all for a sweeper, is it? That's my phone making a noise again, sorry. He's been at DC United the last few years. If you watched the last episode, you'll know that. He's trying to forge a career for himself in America. Average ratings are dreadful. He won the Pacific Games with Tahiti. Well done. Brilliant achievement. Fiji won it in 2003, but Tahiti managed to win it in this series, which is good to see. What else do we want to look at? Biography, there you go. There's his information screen. Mainly plays central midfield, but he has played attacking midfield as well. Brilliant. Maybe that's why he's just got really low ratings. And lastly, João Souto, a Portuguese player who I do feel sorry for because it's just not worked out for him. He's wanted by a club. He's available on a free. He's wanted by Preston North End. Good stuff. Left PSG finally after just playing for the reserves his whole career. Was happy to just play in the reserves and float along. But he's been released finally by PSG. Actually did manage to win the Coupe de la Ligue in his first ever season with PSG. They just didn't play him in the first team. They couldn't find a position for him because, look, he's trained up everywhere down the middle apart from up front. That's just brilliant. So there we go, guys. Thank you for watching today's Emulating Puskas extra video. Please hit that like button just to show your support. Sorry for all the times where I've tripped over my words or fallen asleep. I have recorded this video in 4 separate parts, but still my voice is still raw from all the talking today. Now to edit it slightly. I won't edit it too much, as you probably noticed already, because I don't have the time to edit a video this long just to take out a few gaps. Anyway, I'm being lazy, I guess. I am sorry. I should be more dedicated, but sometimes, you know, with these really long videos, it's a little bit hard to find the motivation to do that. But nevertheless, I found it really interesting looking at the stories behind these players, and hopefully you guys have too. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. There's going to be a couple more episodes to this, and then it will all be over, and that will be the end of the FM16 journey, and then Football Manager 2017 will come out. Yep. Well, I'll see you soon, guys. We'll end it on that note.